Hi guys, Liam Ski here, and welcome to an episode of Planet Coaster, where I will be going through some little handy tips with you on scenario mode, specifically for the hardest setting in the game. So without further ado, let's go to start challenge mode, and we'll just go to, let's just do city. And challenge park, let's set it to the hardest, which is harder. There's no other mode that's harder than that. And let's begin. Right, first and foremost, we're going to pause. The last thing we want is to lose any money as soon as we start building stuff. The next in line is we're going to get a path that's going to be at least 8 wide. Because when it starts getting busy, you want your guests to not kind of get stuck. So let's just go 3, 4, 5, and then maybe a 6th. Just keep in mind how much pathing costs as well. So next in line is we're going to go to park management, we're going to go to finances, loans, and we're going to get a loan right away. We're going to go for the 3,000 loan, and that's it. We've got some money now. Okay, next we're going to add our first ride. Normally I find that Ascension, or Ascendance even, is the best optional ride to have, and you want to have it as close to the path as possible so that you don't spend too much money on doing pathing. So specifically for the exit, we can just take that out straight away. Now bear in mind, for this we want to just focus on getting as much money in as possible first. If you're a detailer, then throw that out the window for the first part, because I know some people that want to do detailing and everything in scenario, they'd probably go for the easiest setting and everything. But for those who want that extra bit of challenge, absolutely try it this way and see if it works. So we're just going to stick the pathing in. Now another little handy tip for those that like to see a good queue, always use this width. So you can take the width of the queue down to 2 meters. And this in turn will make the queue look a lot bigger than it is normally. So we can have that there. We're going to open this, and then we're going to move on to the next stage in the process. Okay, so the next process is decorating the pathing and the queue line. Now, I have a very handy little piece of foliage that is perfect for this. So if you go to bushes, and it's this, begonia flowers, only $1.50 each, but it sticks the queue scenery up so quickly that you won't need to spend as much money as you would, say for example, if you were to get trees and everything like that. So we're going to quickly add this, and what I'll do is I'll show you the scenery is currently at 0%, and once we finish this I'll show you what it goes to. So as we can see, that's stuck the scenery rating up to 60%, which will buffer it a bit more. And we also need to set the cost. Now, the handy tool for this is just a little bit of calculation. So you get your calculator out, whether it be on your phone or on the PC, and you literally go by the amount of prestige. So you stick the amount of prestige, which in this case is 576, and then you divide it by 37.6. And that gives you pretty much the perfect amount that you can charge before any guest starts complaining. And in this case it's £15 or dollars or euro or whatever you want to call it. It's dollars in this case, isn't it? It's £15.30 for this, and that would mean that no guest should deny or complain about the cost of this ride currently. And that will be perfect because we've already spent a fair bit of money and we've only got just short of 2.5k. So the next stage is we are going to open the park and start allowing people in firstly. So let's go to park management and overview. It is already open. Let's check the tickets. So we are going to start charging as well. So we want to charge about $1 and then probably 0.5 at first, just so that you've got that little bit of extra income coming in. And we will also add, because if you don't, you're going to have problems, potentially a restroom in a moment. But first of all, we're going to currently see where we're at with the amount of money we have, which is 2.5k, and see what else we would be able to afford provided we could place something. So straight away we could get the Hurricane, and usually these are the best 2 rides to go with at first. You've got the Ascendance or Ascension and a Hurricane, and these are 2 rides that pretty much should cover everyone's requirements. So you've got Ascendance here that covers everyone's excitement and fear, and okay, you've got the risk of nausea, but you know, we'll cover that in a moment with regards to janitors. And then you've got Hurricane, which is not so exciting, however the nausea is better and you're more likely to have families go on that than on Ascension. So what we'll do is we're going to stick a restroom in first of all, right near the entrance, right here, right by this. That's in place. Also, another tip is charge for the toilets or restrooms, whatever you want to call them. Normally 50 cents at the start, and then you can possibly make it $1. Potentially, you might be able to get away with $1. Should do. If they're that desperate, they're more likely to. So I am now going to add the Hurricane ride. Again, I'm cutting this as close to the path as possible. I'll reiterate, we're looking to get as much money as possible firstly, and as little pathing as possible is the best way forward to start off. So we're going to have, let's see, where shall we stick this pathing for the queue line? We'll stick the queue line here. The queue line's not so much in terms of worrying about how long you want it. That's completely up to you. So as long as the exit's right there, you're fine, because then they can kind of rotate with the rides. So this one will come out here, they'll come out here, and then the queue will start here for the Hurricane ride. Whereas with the Hurricane ride, the queue will start here for Ascendance as soon as they come out of there. So it's kind of like a clockwork kind of thing. So let's get this pathing in, and then I will also do the flower foliage thing that we do as well for this. Okay, there we go. As you can see, the queue's scenery rating for that is now at 100%, which is perfect. And even Ascendances as well, which is perfect as well. So again, we'll go to the prestige rating of 320. And so we do the 320 divided by 37.6, and that gives us 8.51. So $8.50 it should be the perfect amount to charge. Bear in mind, as time goes by, this will change. The prestige, the prestige will go up, so you need to keep an eye on that so that you can start charging more to for your guests to ride. So let's open everything and let's wait for guests to come in and go from there. So as you can see, we got some guests in now. Now you've got to bear in mind that because it's the hardest level, you're not going to get tons and tons of guests coming in constantly. And also keep in mind of challenges that pop up. So now what I normally do is, unless there's a challenge that you know you can do that's not financially risky, ignore them. That's why I minimize them the whole time. As you can see, we've also been making money as well. We've got a monthly profit of over $650 already. That's from having the 2 rides at 100% scenery and the restrooms as well at 50 cents, and then with the tickets as well, costing $1 for standard and 50 cents for family. Let's check the prestige. So the prestige here is on 806 now, and this is 448, which means they've changed. As I said earlier, make sure you keep an eye on this because it will change. If we go to 806 divided by 37.6, this is now $21.40. So we can up this a lot to $21.40, meaning we're going to get a lot more bang for our buck. And for this one, Hurricane, so that's 448. So 448 divided by 37.6 is $11.90. So we can up that as well to $11.90. And we'll still have people queuing and we'll still be making a lot more money. So let's speed this up a little bit more and see how we get on in terms of profit making. So as you can see, the profit went up quite high, over 1,000, and now it's gone down. What we need to do next is obviously avoid for now anything like vomit and stuff. It's not a huge amount, so we don't need to worry about that. What we do need to worry about is trying to keep these guests happy and staying here. So the next port of call is to get yourself some shops. So we just need one bog standard food stall. So in this case, we're just going to go for the bog standard beef beef. And then we're going to go with a drink, which is Cosmic Cow. Now these will potentially get busy, but for now we're just going to keep them as they are. We're going to make sure that we have ample seating as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to select grid here. So we're going to get the seating in. And when you're doing this as well, at the same time, I would start planting bins across your park, along with just normal benches as well. Just to give people places to sit and rest where necessary and when necessary for them. But now that they're going to be buying stuff from here, it should hopefully start getting people to stay at the park a little bit longer and bring more profit in, of course, as well. So as you can see, we've nearly got $2,000. Let's have a look at how we're doing finance-wise with the payments. So at the moment, we've still got a good $5,000 to repay. If we want to increase this, we can, but I've always kept it at the mid-range, which is, so the minimum you can pay back is $300, the maximum is $500 in this case for this particular loan, as you can see. So I always keep it as the default that it has it at, which is that one there, $400. And as you know, as you can clearly see, we've not lost any money from this, we're not at risk. Nothing's going wrong, so we can crack on with whatever we're doing for now on this case. So we also have no gift shops, so at this point I would recommend, now that you've got a good amount of money, over 2,000, to research a gift shop. So we go in here and then it looks like it's going to be Hats Fantastic, so we can research that, and I actually up this to the max purely because this will take 15 days and this costs $750 per month. You're not going to be paying the full $750 because it's going to be done in 15 days. You're going to be paying the amount that's equated pro rata to this, which means however much this is in 15 days. So this will be done nice and quickly and we'll have a gift shop. One thing I'd also recommend as well, if you're not interested in the management side of things, is turning off staff management. And obviously if you've got the Ghostbusters thing, get rid of the ghost things and everything like that. Unless of course you're into that, then fair enough. Otherwise, we have those off. You also need to keep an eye on your staff because they will get very grumpy over time. At the moment, we're all good with the stalls, although this person's just got a little bit miserable. So we'll train these guys up. And it's normally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Should be enough to keep them there and be very happy. Now, research has been done, so we'll go to the research and we'll reveal that. And Hats Fantastic, amazing. And we can get that now, so we will do that right away. And what I'll do is I will put this near the entrance as well. Just so that anyone doesn't avoid it, they can see it on the way out from the rides and what have you, and they'll purchase it instantly. And just to make a point here on finances, you can see under research costs, this does not equate to $750. Therefore, we've saved money pretty much. We paid 300 and let's say $70 odd overall to research Hats Fantastic rather than the $750 a month that it would normally say, all because obviously it was done well within a month. Now at this point it's completely up to you if you want to add another ride or not. You can absolutely do so, provided you have the money, which in this case we do. We can get another ride if we want to. Free Flyer is normally a good one, but of course you can see how much that costs in comparison to how much we have. That would be a big risk to take right now, especially when these rides are yet to break down and we would need to get ourselves a mechanic. Of course, it doesn't cost us money to hire a mechanic, but we lose a lot of money as soon as a ride closes down. So each time a guest passes this area here, they pay a ticket. The second a ride breaks down, all these people that pass this get their money back, which means our balance goes back down. And that is something to be aware of as well during this. So what I'm going to do now, since we are progressing quite nicely, is I am going to add that Free Flyer ride. I'm just going to bring the path up this way. Hopefully this will bring people up. I will place this ride here. Where are you, Free Flyer? There you are. Stick it right there, and we'll have the entrance there and the exit just here. Start that. I will keep the game playing at this point because we are making money, so we do not need to worry about any losses. And we'll just make the path quickly, the queue. Okay, so that's the foliage and the pathing done. Now we'll check out the prestige. Prestige is currently 352. Oh, it's gone up. 476 divided by 37.6, and that is $12.60. So we can go here and 12.6, and then we can open it up, and hopefully this will attract people down here, and we can go from there. And now we've got some money coming in, I recommend that we look into researching an ATM, because a lot of people you've seen have been turning away from Free Flyer, and the result of that is most definitely the fact that they're running out of money. Now, first things first, what I recommend as well on top of this, because we won't be able to research it right away, is look into the challenges, because sometimes you'll have a restaurant related one, sometimes you'll have a hotel related one, and the hotel challenges are normally relatively easy. So once you have the money to be able to do so, I recommend fully researching the hotels. Now you'll see that there's a bit of vandalism that's been going on, and that there have been thefts. At this point I would say that we'd have to hold fire potentially, due to the fact that we don't have a lot of money. But at the same time, this gets reported and affects our rating. So at this moment, I would suggest adding a security guard. What we also will do is, with regards to the security guard, is have them be given a work area. Now for this work area, we're going to give them an area right by the entrance. This is so that any perpetrators that are stealing or causing a nuisance will be easily caught, because they run out of the entrance. So what we'll do is we'll go to our security guard and we'll give them that roster, and they will hang around this area here. And straight away we can go into the next tip, which is do not get a mechanic until you need one. Okay, so as you can see, Ascension has broken down, and this is a serious issue because that's one of our big money makers. So get the mechanic right next to the exit. They'll go in there straight away and fix it. That's now fixed and reopened. Mechanic will now hopefully go and fix, and well, it'll at least give the Hurricane a look in, which is good. So what we've done is we've upgraded the roster a little bit for the security guard, so he can go up and down here. Because it's only one path, we don't need to worry so much. With regards to the mechanic, what we're going to do is we're going to let him do the things he's doing, which is fixing these. And when he's done that, I'm afraid to say, we're going to have to say our goodbyes. So cheerio. Because they cost a lot of money per month. What we do now need though, however, is a janitor. And a janitor is someone who you will not fire. As soon as you get a janitor, you keep them. And you keep them happy as well. Okay, now the hotel's been researched, this is the next tip. Again, when you've got the hotel challenge, always make sure you research the hotel, because it's a lot better. As you can see, I have a hotel with at least 2 rooms. This is a very, very easy challenge once you have researched hotels. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this building here because it's a lot easier to place. We're going to edit that, and we're going to have the hotel literally attached to these guys. So let's go to shops facilities, let's go to hotel, let's add the hotel foyer right here, and then we're going to add a couple of standard rooms right next to it. We're then going to select the hotel directly, go to rooms, connect hotel rooms, and as soon as we've done that, there's a challenge complete, and there's $1,100 right there. So always remember, challenges are your friend for cash. So if they're easy and doable and not financially risky, then absolutely go for it. And research only if you really need to. Which reminds me, we need to research an ATM. Will we have an ATM available yet? Looks like no. But I do recommend getting a Looney Balloons. $7.50, that should be done in 15 days. Nice bit of easy research. Now you can always improve the scenery. So, for example, if we want to do more flowers, like another line, I suggest is putting these into a group. So you could just do the selection item down here, making sure you've not selected the ride, and then you hit this button here, merge scenery into scenery group. Now they're a group, so you can go to edit scenery group, and it's as easy as selecting the ones you want to copy, Control X, going to there, and then you can change the color of them as well. Let's give them a purple there. Okay, and then you can kind of do that all the way around if you wanted to, and with over here and with over here as well, just to give it that little bit of extra scenery rating, because at the minute currently the scenery rating is not the best and it could do with being better. That will also attract guests as well. So if you've got time and money and everything, absolutely look into starting to do your little bit of detailing with scenery and whatnot around the park, because that will help increase the rating and increase the likelihood of more guests arriving and coming to your park. Now when it comes to building roller coasters, absolutely you should be able to start building roller coasters once you've got at least 3 rides here and you've got a regular amount of profit. Now this doesn't mean you have to wait until you've got the amount of money, say around 10k, to build a roller coaster. You can absolutely build one as you go along. So you could go and start building a coaster as soon as you get down to $0, just wait for the next amount of money to come in from the rides and just build it as and when as you go along, and you should be absolutely fine. We'll do an example of this right now with a simple ride. And already we're down to 500. So what I would recommend is just speeding up as you do this. And again, keep an eye on your other rides as you're doing this, because as we've progressed with this one, a ride has broken down. So remember, the usual process is we go to park management, get ourselves a cat. That is a security guard, a mechanic. Put him right by the exit of the ride. He'll go in there and fix it as quickly as possible, especially when you're going to be in the red when you're building a coaster at this stage. And then he'll fix that up for you. We'll also let him do a little check of any other ride that he needs to while he's here, and then we'll fire him again. And there we go. That's that sorted. Now we can get back to building the coaster, which is almost complete. So there we are. We've got a coaster built, a very basic one. Let's test it out and see how it does quickly. And all greens, just like that. So we'll close that and we'll start making a queue line for this. Let's check out the prestige, which is 351. It's very bad, but it will improve over time, as I said. So we'll get the queue there, we've got the exit there, and we'll just get this sorted quickly. Okay, so that's that done there. That should have sorted the scenery out, which it has, up to 100% for the queue line, and that's good to go. So hopefully we will start seeing more people come in here. But that in itself is how you would justify or be able to build a standard simple roller coaster whilst still struggling to get a lot of money. And that is pretty basic and pretty much done. Obviously I've not done any smoothing. Smoothing doesn't cost too much, so by all means make a smoother and better coaster. And at this rate you should be good to go. Look, 517, so we can already up the cost here. So 517 divided by 37.6 is 1370. So we can put this up to 1370 just before those guys get on there, and that's done. So now what we need to do is we need to check research. We've got loony balloons. Hopefully we can get an ATM soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this facility, which is first aid, because that should open the way, shall we say, for another facility, which of course should definitely be an ATM. So what we're going to do is we're going to add loony balloons here in the middle of our current park. Oof, loony balloons is going to be very busy right away, which is good. Also consider looking into, if you want to get into real nitty gritty of earning a little bit of extra cash, put these up by like 50 cents each time. 50 cents, and people should still buy. Okay, so research is done. Let's have a look. First aid's done. Let's see if ATM is now available to research. And it is. So let's get that ATM and let's get that ball rolling. In fact, I've just noticed a ride broken down. See what I mean? You've got to stay very aware of what's going on. And now, because we have an ATM on the horizon, this mechanic stays. We have 4 rides actively making money continuously. I don't know if you've seen, but our profits are normally over the 1,000 per month range. So we are now going to keep this mechanic as a permanent member of staff. Always remember to keep an eye on your staff as well. So this one needs training. Make sure they're at a minimum of level 2 training. Obviously you can't do it straight away for ones that you've just hired. Okay, so now we have the ATM. This makes it a lot more easy for us, and it should also make us very much self-efficient in terms of money. So we'll edit this building, and we're going to put an ATM right in the middle here. There we go, and there we go, we have an ATM. So anyone that's running low on cash, they'll come here and get some money. And then they're more likely to stay in the park for longer, especially if they've only been on a couple of rides and they want to go on something like the roller coaster, for example. Now the next port of call from this, now that we are pretty much self-sufficient, is doing something with this park in terms of decorating. You've got really nice scenery and you make yourself a nice little entrance as well. You're going to have people coming far and wide more frequently, and it's altogether a lot better, and your profit will be going a lot higher. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars from this process. So long as you keep the scenery going up and obviously not just have bare bones like this, it should be perfect. And this is pretty much where you're good to go from here on out, to be honest. So hopefully you've enjoyed what I've shown here. If you've got any other tips for yourselves as well to come across, please let me know. I am aware that there are probably other scenery items that you can use for queue line scenery. I keep to these pieces of flower foliage purely because I think it just looks a lot better than, say for example, I think there's a bulk treasure chest on one of the items that you can use that literally just makes it 100% quite quickly, even more so than the flowers. That's just personal preference that I use these flowers instead. But yeah, so let's go with this. So you've got the flowers, which are $1 each, which increases the attractiveness of the queue quickly to attract more guests and also make the prestige higher, which means higher ticket ratings. In order to get the perfect price for your ride, you do the prestige amount divided by 37.6. When you first start, make sure you get the highest loan straight away, normally $3,000 at 50% payback. If you like to see your queues nice and long, use the smallest width for the queue line, which I believe is 3 meters. When you want to do multiple objects, so for example what we did with the flowers earlier to add the purple ones, literally make a placement of multiple objects and place them as a group. So you would select them with the selection tool in the bottom right hand corner and then add them as a group, making sure you've not selected a ride. Only get a mechanic when something breaks down and then immediately fire them to save money up until the point you have 3 or 4 rides that are making you plenty of money. Only get a janitor when things start getting very dirty. So as soon as it starts getting dirty, get a janitor and keep that janitor. Make sure they're at least level 2 training as well and that the pay is good. Also keep in mind that your other staff will want to be at least level 2 training and have a good decent amount of pay. And take into consideration their work rate, how much they're expecting in terms of work. If they're at a normal amount of work or if they've got high, I suggest if they're at high, definitely train them up, especially if it's frequently high. Keep an eye on challenges as they're your friend for cash. If they're easy and doable, not financially risky, then go for it. In one case, if you're able to research, get the hotel, and then you can get a nice, easy bit of money just from doing that sort of challenge. And of course, in general, only research if you really have to. With regards to shops, it should only cost you around about $350 tops per month in 1 month's worth of, let's just say, if it's a 15-day, if it's a store, it should only cost you $350 in total to research it if you have it at the max amount of research. So, if you've liked what you've seen, don't forget to hit that like button and please consider subscribing. And please give me some comments below on what you thought of this video. If you have any other hints or tips or ideas, or what you thought of the tips I gave you. If you tried them out for yourself, if they worked, if they didn't work, let me know and we can try and give you a hand. But on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next time and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.